All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Pier, and today we're going to talk about where AI meets its purpose. I want to start this talk by looking at what we call the AI promise. So I have here two pictures, and many of you probably can recognize both of them. One is from 10 years ago, almost exactly. It's a screenshot from the YOLO paper. And it was a paper from Redmond, and it was kind of a big moment in AI, because it was the first time that we were able to reliably and fast enough understand how to identify objects within pictures. And now we see 10 years past how that evolved. We're not just able to find a dog inside the picture, but we can actually generate a whole word model around it. And this makes me think on how the AI community, the AI technology has evolved. But then it's not just about the technology. We can also think about how the AI community has evolved in these 10 years. It was a much different place 10 years ago. I don't know if probably many of you were there. And you know, it was a much smaller place and much more academic also. Full of ambitions, I would say, full of promises and hopes. And it's amazing to see how much of those ambitions realized. And some of them, I may say, even more, they realize much more than even the most optimistic of us would have hoped. We see that AI is becoming a force of change. But there was also another promise with AI, the promise that it would have been a technology and an innovation force able to close societal divide rather than amplify it. But let's see what is the world that AI is entering right now. This is 2026. There are many wars around the world. And in some of them, here I have 4 pictures. We have Ukraine, we have Gaza, we have Iran and Lebanon. And the AI is in all of them. It's in the strategy, in the planning, in the kill chain, and it's among us in the propaganda surrounding these wars. This is something that surprised us a bit, but in terms of how fast this happened. But just a few months ago, we were writing about this topic in the Good AI Lab. We wrote an article called From Self-Driving Cars to Self-Driving Wars, discussing how the agentic revolution that we're all experiencing, and in many ways enjoying it in our work as scientists and engineers, where we have agents now integrated in our works and taking so much of the decisions and the design decision even that we are doing when we code and when we operate. But what happens when the same agency drift, the same agency shift is happening in a war scenario? When the human becomes a rubber stamper of decisions that were already taken by a machine. But at the time, even when we wrote it, it was still somewhat of an academic piece in some sense. But if AI told us something, is that the future is always coming sooner than we expected. And then we see that just a few months ago, there was the US and Pentagon and Anthropic standoff. For the one of you that don't know, this I can summarize it very quickly. This was the Pentagon asked to all major AI companies developing AI, foundational AI models, including Google, OpenAI, xAI, and Anthropic, the freedom of using their models for any lawful use. Everyone signed, with the only exception of Anthropic asking for excluding from this agreement the use in lethal autonomous weapons without meaningful human control, and domestic mass surveillance, so mass surveillance in the US. And this objection was enough for the Department of War to designate Anthropic as a supply chain risk. And this brings a question here, the question of responsibility. So the use of AI in war is not something new, as we know. This is a tweet from Joseph Redmond, the same author of the YOLO paper that I was mentioning before, saying, "I stopped doing CV research because I saw the impact that my work was having. I love the work, but the military application and privacy concerns eventually became impossible to ignore." And this brings a question. So many of us, myself included, are scientists, engineers, and AI developers. And we all, most of the time, think that it's not really our responsibility where the deployment of the tool that we create every day, the algorithm that we design in our research lab, or the product that we're building in our company, is not our responsibility how that gets deployed in our world. There will be someone else taking that burden, either the policymaker or maybe the user itself. But I want to challenge this in a way to say that we are perfectly aware how complicated these systems are. So much so that very often we designers and we scientists, we don't know exactly the capabilities and the limitation of these systems. Yet we often shy away from taking responsibility in how these systems are designed and developed and where they are deployed. And this comes to this maybe simple yet not banal realization that AI, and like AI, many other innovations, they don't come with any inherent purpose. It's always up to us to define and defend one. And this very simple conclusion here, it's what inspired not just myself, but many academics, developers, engineers around the world. And some of them get together and form what we call today the Good AI Lab. So what is the Good AI Lab? It's a non-profit organization. It's an independent AI lab working on foundational AI research and innovation projects for social good. We're all volunteers, and we all work in top AI companies and AI labs and academic institutions around the world. We come from 21 combined institutions, and we have a significant academic presence with over 1,100 combined publications that sum up, they have over 63,000 citations. And of course, we don't do this alone. We are humble and understand that this is a difficult path that we are making, and we are doing this with people that we know we can trust and we can work with. And when it comes to the foundational research and the academic side, we work with 8 universities across Europe, including Prague, University of Bologna, ETH and UEZ in Zurich, TUE Munich, La Sapienza, and University of Modena Reggio Emilia, and KTH, of course. But when it comes inside of our project for social good, we work with the organizations that know this work the best. And in this case, we work with FMSI, which is an organization active in children education all around the world, and with Doctors Without Borders.
Thank you. Yes, as you might know, Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders is a humanitarian movement and an INGO. We are based on the belief that no one should be left behind without care in any crisis situation. We work in mostly more than 70 countries in the whole world, and we work in emergencies, in conflict situations, in natural disruptions. We are based on 3 main principles. These principles guide us at all times. Impartiality, meaning that there is no space for discrimination, there is no difference between patients. Neutrality, meaning that we never take parts in any conflict, we never take a political stand, we're always neutral in order to have access and do our action. And independence. We do not take funds from governments, political entities, but only private sources or people just like you all. Those are very good principles, but we are fully aware that the world is changing a lot and that the current crisis can leave us with so many uncertainties. We know that individualism could prevent us from expressing these humanitarian values. As MSF, we are able to be in a contest situation in 24, 48 hours with field hospitals, doctors, humanitarian workers ready to act and help people. So we are fully aware of how much AI can actually improve our action, can actually support us, can make it better. However, if those principles really matter, we cannot apply AI in the way Pier explained before. So what if we don't have the right expertise? What if we don't have the right knowledge to keep pace with AI that is changing so much every day? The answer is that what MSF cannot do, you all can, and vice versa, obviously. So in a world that is changing so much, that is moving towards a crisis, collaboration is the answer. It is the only way we can make sure innovation goes in the right way. The only way we can make sure those common humanitarian principles are put into action. And this was the basis of our collaboration, our partnership with the GAIA Lab. The idea was to make AI in a good way and apply it with the humanitarian principles. So we started building a common framework, common values, common ideas that we wanted to use when applying AI, like inclusiveness, accountability, transparency. As you might know, we work with a lot of sensitive data from patients, from donors, so for us, those were essential. And we really wanted to make sure we use the human-centered design in any action, including AI. From this, we built up a project. Obviously, the project was very long, and we started with literacy in order to make sure we would fill the knowledge gaps within our staff. We moved on with exploration of new ideas, opportunities, also connected to the risk. And then finally, we wanted to make sure we had a strategy, a roadmap. We want to always have looking forward for the future. We want to make sure there is an AI-focused culture within our organization. This project was built on several years. The idea was to also help the cultural shift. So we started with creating the foundation, as I said before. In particular, we started with a small training for a small portion of our staff. The idea was to make sure the language of AI comes from the bottom. And then we did a feasibility study with the guys of the GAIA Lab, which really helped to understand the needs and the opportunities, but also the limits and the risks. So we drafted a policy together. We drafted a new form of governance that could help us make sure those principles stay intact at all times. We moved on to the growing of expertise. This is actually the phase that we're dealing with right now. And in this phase, we want to expand the knowledge. We want to expand our training to the whole staff. But also we want to try and test and prototype and build new tools that could help us in the field, could help us in the office. And so the consulting that we're doing with the GAIA Lab is crucial because we don't have the right expertise to understand what are the right opportunities for us and what are the risks that could put us and our values in danger. The last phase is connected to innovation. As you might know, MSF is an innovation-driven movement, so we want to make sure that we always move forward. And in order to have this cultural shift, we want to build with the experts of the GAIA Lab a strategy that can help us in this process, and in order to make sure that we always foresee the good opportunity. Obviously, this whole partnership is just a starting point for our values, for the vision we want to pursue today, but it was the success of how a collaboration can actually make AI work in the best way. We can, through collaboration, we can make sure AI does good things, and we can prevent it from controlling the cultural crisis that we're going through right now.
Thank you. And then we have one more part, is that, of course, as Sofia was saying, it's equally important to bring AI into the hands of associations like Doctors Without Borders, but at the same time, it's also essential to bring associations like Doctors Without Borders into the AI community. And this is also how we see our responsibility in this field and our role. And that's why, together with Doctors Without Borders, we are now organizing a workshop in one of the premier computer vision conferences, which is actually happening here in Sweden later this year, which is called ECCV. It's happening in Malmo on the 8th and the 9th of September. And we're bringing there Computer Vision for Good, which is a computer vision for humanitarian action, bringing together international speakers and academics to discuss and analyze the needs from the field and match them with computer vision research. And I want to add you one thing, that during this talk, we actually talked about Joseph Redmond, who both authored YOLO and also left computer vision for several years after realizing the implication of his work, and is now actually working on, back in computer vision, working on foundation models for Earth's observation, and he will join us in this workshop. So, to conclude, we do see, I want to conclude with the vision of the Good AI Lab, which resounds so well with Doctors Without Borders values. And we do see AI as a force that reveals new paths. It includes more voices and helps reshape society for the better. And if we are to contribute with a verse to this powerful play, let it be driven by curiosity and guided by responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Pier, Luigi and Sofia, thank you for your very grounded and great work. Just a reminder, you can ask questions at questions.gaia.fish. We have a couple of questions from the audience. Is it okay if we take it? How do you view the role and responsibility of large AI companies as competition accelerates? Are current approaches to accountability and governance sufficient?
I feel this question has already an answer embedded into it. But how can I say? I mean, maybe this answer will surprise you, but I do think everyone has a role and everyone has a responsibility in this. I don't think, honestly, that, how can I say? I think it's a difficult balance to strike between innovation and responsible implementation. It's not an easy solution, and no one has this perfect solution. There are attempts, but there are also forces against, of course, a responsible application of this. I do think the large corporations should have a responsibility, but it's on the civil society to keep them accountable, as always. Don't know what you think.
Yeah, I honestly agree. I mean, everyone has a role, and of course, in the civil society, everyone has one, and especially in being accountable. And I think us as an NGO, obviously, we do have our responsibility on how to use it, and also how to make sure that we protect. We don't only protect patients, but we also protect people that work for us. So I think, yeah, everyone has a role, and if we decide that we have a common vision, at the end, it's simple.
But this is a great answer, and it brings me right into actually another question. Obviously, our audience is very interested in accountability as well. This elaborates on it, saying, where does the responsibility of the developer and the user start, actually? So you can develop for good, but cannot control fully how people use this.
Exactly. That was our discussion. I think it also, something that is missing there is the knowledge. Like user, they don't use it by chance. So what is the vision behind the knowledge that you give for the using of the tool? That's why we started with the training. We needed that. We needed to make sure everyone was at the same level. Everyone could make a choice. that's the point. Yes, there is a moment where the responsibility shifts from the developer to the user, but is the user fully aware of the risk, of what he's doing, of how he's using the tool? I don't think everyone is at the same level, and I think everyone here knows it.
Yeah.
Right, and we also have time for another question, actually. Oh, so if we slow down our adversary, if we slow down, our adversaries won't. So how do we build accountability into the race itself, and not after it's over?
Sorry, adversary or?
Yes, and I believe that, who asked this question? Maybe they can even rephrase it.
Competitors.
It has been voted, so. The bad guys.
Bad guys, okay.
Okay, okay, I think that's a, no, I know, but I want to take on that. So it's, who are the bad guys? Like, I mean, like, or let's put it better, who are the good guys? I mean, we have some on stage. I think MSF is one of the good guys, but then it's really, like, when we talk about adversaries, we should probably start to think that that is the kind of paradigm that is the problem. When you start to think about other people in other countries and you frame them as adversaries, it's already part of the problem. I think, and that's kind of what created the race. And then when you create the race, then you create an escalation, and that is difficult to control. But that starts from this problem of seeing the world as an adversarial place, which in many ways it is, but framing and seeing enemies around, that's kind of how it all starts, right? So I see this as, and then of course, the race, it is there, and that's why accountability has been more and more like, it has been left behind.
Thank you for this perspective. No, I please continue.
No, it's, Sofia, do you have anything?
Do you have anything to add?
It's not my expertise 100%. What I only think is that here again, the question is based on individualism. Again, that was my point at the beginning. Like, if this is the way we're thinking, obviously racing, it's good for innovation. We're all aware of it. But at the same time, individualism will break the fact that we're all going for the common goal at the end, no? So we're not thinking as a group, we're thinking as individuals. And I think that's what blocks us from putting the right purposes behind our actions.
Thank you so much. And I'll wrap the questions here. Thank you again. Please join me in a round of applause. And
thank you.
Kat, thank you for bringing the gift on stage. It's a GAIA gift. It's an umbrella.
Thank you so much.
Unsure how useful it is in this period in Italy. I want to think about it. But if you stay longer in Gothenburg, for sure. And
yes, that's very helpful.
Again.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much.